Hi friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily if you're new here. Today's video is going to be a fun chit chat video, I suppose. We are going to be going through some of my favorite books 1-star reviews on Goodreads because I have been watching a heap of these videos lately. Sam from Samantha Donovan recently did a video of her going through her favorite books 1-star reviews, and I had the biggest laugh reading them, even though I agreed with some of the reviews, because you agree with them but you still love the book in your own way, and everyone is right to their own opinion. I will just say that a 1-star review is totally fair enough. I personally have never rated a book 1 star, but I totally can understand where people come from when rating books 1 star. So we're just gonna go through some of my favorite books personally. Okay, so I have like some of the reviews on my iPad because I obviously film on my phone, so I'm just going to go through some of the reviews for A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, as that is currently one of my favorite reads at the moment. So Charlie wrote, "From the moment she said holy pepperoni, I realized I was too old to be reading this book." I personally love Pip's personality. She was so bubbly and youthful. She is 17. I personally have that profanity. I say those profanities like holy pepperoni, not in that way, but I still say some really immature phrases, I suppose. I'm not going to judge that, but each to their own, I suppose. Okay, so Maggie posted, "I made a Goodreads account just so I could give this book 1 star." Why did you want to give it 1 star? What was so bad about this book? I personally love this book and I would read it again. Liv from Endless Pages recently did a reread of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder because of me, because I was like so hyping the book up again. I loved it. I loved it so much. I had such a fun time reading it, so I don't really understand why someone could be so hateful towards this book. But again, each to their own. Let's just scroll down and have a close my eyes. Okay, I'm going to stop here. Okay. So Haley says, "There's no way people actually think this is a good book. I know it's YA, but seriously? This was so poorly written and boring." Really? I personally found it so enthralling and well written for a YA series. There was nothing that kept me on the edge of my seat, so I'm not sure how anyone can call this a thriller. I simply kept reading because I was interested in the idea of Andy's murderer and wanted to know what actually happened. There is no character development because the author didn't focus enough on any of the characters. There are some boring events that are written fully and some important parts that are skipped right over. There are multiple instances of British slang despite the book being set in America. Why did the British author not do more research or just simply set the book in the UK? The book was set in the UK. I'm confused now. And the use of third-person POV entwined with first-person with Pip's journal entries was stupid. Oh my god, and it was so unrealistic. From the way the characters talk to the information Pip was getting from the characters, the ending wasn't even satisfying. But I will say that I didn't predict it, probably because it was not good, so it didn't cross my mind. So the book was set in the UK. I know that for a fact. So I don't understand why you think that it was set in America. Yes, some parts were slower, but personally for a YA thriller, I found it thrilling. I personally found it thrilling. I was on the edge of my seat personally because I stayed up until 2 a.m. reading it, so yes. You speak your truth. That's totally fair enough, but for me, I do not agree with any of this. So Aileen says, "I want to wash my brain of this." Okay, Aileen, I suppose that is fair enough. I'll just give you a clarification as well with how many 1-star reviews there are of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. There are, so in total on Goodreads, there are 771,320 ratings, right? 1 star out of the 771,000 ratings, there is only 4,315 1-star reviews. So obviously they are minorities because surely 700,000 people all think this book is better than 1 star. I'm going to leave it at that. The next book I'm going to be reading the reviews out from is Bunny by Muna Award. I read this one back in January or February. 5-star read for me. I loved it. I fell down the rabbit hole and I loved it. I ate it up in like 24 hours. It was so good. So let's read some of these reviews out. I'm going to close my eyes and just scroll and stop right here. Okay. So Kira says, this was a fever dream of a book and not a very good one. It started off strong. I had high hopes and was enjoying myself, only for it to die off. I actually put it down and didn't pick it up for 2 months. I decided I was going to try again and force myself to finish it, and I could barely keep up with what was going on. Not in a good keeping my interest way, just super manic, which I guess was the intent, but it didn't deliver for me. Samantha is just so incredibly unlikable that I found myself not really caring what happened. I thought I was going to really like this book because everyone told me it's messed up and crazy, but it just didn't deliver. The ending lacked substance and left me disappointed. Overall, unfortunately, my least favorite read of the year. So I understand where Kira is coming from because this book is very mixed in reviews. Some people absolutely hate it and despise it, and other people froth it, like myself. I loved it. I loved going down that spiral, I suppose. I personally did guess what was the case with Samantha and the bunnies, so it made it a bit easier for me to grasp and understand once the ending occurred. So, and it is an open discussion ending, like there is no theoretical ending, so you kind of just like are left hanging in a way, but that is the whole point. Mona Award's writing is so unique, but I am obsessed. So Shell says, I was just bored, man. Shell, that's okay. I understand why you may have been bored, but I was not bored. My brain might be wired differently, obviously, because I was very enthralled. I wanted to know what was going on with Samantha and why the bunnies were so obsessed with Samantha. So, and I was annotating this book and I literally annotated and outlined all of the bunnies. So Samuel wrote, is this what LSD is like? Because feels like you really don't know what's going on. Absolutely no idea. And that's like the whole point of Mona Award's writing style, is her writing and the way that she tells stories is just so magnificent. I am so envious of the way that her brain works, because I've heard that All's Well is also quite diabolical in that way, and Rouge is supposed to be so good. I'm just so pumped for that book to come out. Kat says, what the fuck did I just read? Good question, Kat. What did you just read? Because I spent hours on Reddit after finishing it. Tori from Tori Between Page posted that I was going to read Bunny, I think, on my Instagram, and then she messaged me and was like, I was on Reddit for like hours after finishing this book. It's so spiraling and you go down this rabbit hole. And that is the case, because I did the exact same thing after finishing Bunny. I was so confused. But then when you read through the Reddit threads, it just clicks, you know? It makes so much more sense. So Hannah says, I hated this book with every fibre of my being. The writing came off as pretentious and just making shit up for the pretty word factor, but nothing even made sense. The only reason I even managed to get through it is because it's for book club. Seriously, fluff this book. I found the writing lyrical and creepy, and so, as I'm going to keep on saying, unique. I have never read a book like Bunny, and it will always have a special place in my heart. It will always be right up the top there of my favorite reads. Okay, so the next book that I'm going to talk about is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now, this book is highly rated. I will just give you a number. So out of all the Goodreads reviews, there is 281,234 ratings currently on Goodreads. And out of those 1,281,234 ratings on Goodreads, there's only 10,458 one-star ratings for Daisy Jones and the Six. Just gonna scroll because I'm very intrigued to see why people would rate this 1 star. I suppose in a way as well, the concept of this book is written in an interview style format, so it is quite different to read in POV wise. So we're just gonna read from Chanel. Boring, zero plot. I was only able to finish this book because I listened to it on double speed on audio. I don't understand the hype at all. Evelyn Hugo is 1,000 times better than this book. Skip this and read that instead. That actually hurts my heart a little bit because Daisy Jones and the Six is life-changing to me. This book has changed my life. Honestly, I have read the book. I'm going to be planning on rereading it, hopefully in December, to annotate it fully. I've watched the show adaptation, which I loved. I have listened to the Aurora album multiple times on repeat. Absolutely no shame there, but that is the actual truth. I just love it so much, and I did not find any of it boring. I wish I lived in the 70s, and I wish I got to witness the band. I wish they were real, because they are only fictional, but they do not seem fictional in my heart. They are a real life band. Okay, another one. Tom says, utter trash. I mean, trash with a great title, ace cover, and a good concept, but trash all the same. What are you trying to say, Tom? Really? You're saying that the aesthetic of the band is on point, but the rest is trash? That's fair enough, because some of the characters were absolute trash, and the way they treated each other, absolute trash. But I still loved it all the same. There are so many long reviews of 1-star ratings, and I'm like, I just say this book wasn't for me, you know. But the people like essay sizes of reviewing a book 1 star. So Elsa says, kind of read like a children's book. In what way does it write like a children's book? This book has a lot of trigger warnings, so I don't really understand how it can be viewed the same as a children's book. Is it because it's an interview format? I personally really enjoyed reading it that way. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. Okay, so the next book is Ignite Me by Tahira Murphy. This book has 393,595 ratings thus far on Goodreads. And out of all of those ratings, there is 3,563 1-star reviews. Okay, so let's just have a look and see. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. Sunny says, you are telling me that this 17-year-old girl who spent 3 whole books talking entirely about 2 hot boys page after endless page might be a good leader? Yeah, no, I'm done with this series, lol. No way I'm touching Restore Me. Yeah, Juliet, do better, girlfriend. I mean, I just can't get over Warner. I love Warner. Would you like to see my sticker that I received today? Because it is so fitting for this book. I love Aaron Warner because I do. I love you, Aaron Warner. I am number one fan. Number one fan. I do not care about these 1-star reviews because they are not true. Anything that anyone has to say bad about Warner, because like, oh my gosh, I love Aaron Warner with my whole heart. Okay, this one. What the hell did I like about this series a year ago? Wish they'd all just die. Die already. Why am I laughing at that? That is not funny. I'm sorry. But Adam Kent can die. I don't really care for Adam Kent. Like, Kenji, Warner, Juliet. Even if Juliet died, I wouldn't care. Kenji and Warner, they could carry on this show. They can have a bromance and I would be here for it. I would continue reading that shit. But unfortunately, Tara Murphy has stopped writing the Shadow Me series, which is depressing because the last book, Imagine Me, did leave me very disappointed. But Ignite Me, Chef's Kiss. Chef's Kiss, I'll read it again. I just had another one. So Emma says, forget dystopian society survival. How do we survive this book? How do you not survive this book? Like, if you can make it to book 2, if you can make it through Unravel Me to Ignite Me, why wouldn't you want to stay for Aaron Warner? Seriously, though. Like, I love Aaron Warner. I love him. I will never stop saying that because I do. I have a dedicated reel on my Instagram for Warner. And there is no shame in that. Okay, we have a 1-star review from Natalie. And they say, I am not satisfied how things ended with Adam. Sad face. But the writing was absolutely beautiful. I am sorry. You were saying that you love Adam Kent more than Warner. No. I cannot go on with that. I'm sorry. I'm glad that he's gone because he was a pain in the butt. He was a pain in the butt. I don't even know. Controversial. Adam Kent versus Dane from Fourth Wing. Please tell me who you prefer to, see you later, because that is a hard one. They are both so unlikable to the point where I want to pull my hair out every time I read about them. So let me know in the comments. The last book we're going to be talking about is The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. I love the Folk of the Air series, but The Queen of Nothing would probably have to be my favorite out of the series. So The Queen of Nothing has 561,640 ratings currently on Goodreads. And out of the 1-star ratings that are on Goodreads, there's only 2,489, which is massive difference. Like, obviously, these people don't know what they're talking about. Let's be real. Okay, gonna just swipe and click on this one. Okay, so Caitlin says, wow, this book was hot garbage, probably the worst and laziest fantasy finale I have ever read. Characters don't act anything like they did in the previous 2 books. Relationships are just solved. A major character is killed off between books. Interesting plot elements are completely discarded and nothing is done with them. Random characters just show up in this one and we don't know anything about them. A bizarre plot twist comes out of nowhere in the last 80 pages of the book, then is solved quite quickly and with no cleverness to it at all. The book is rushed and does not pause to let any emotional moments or payoffs have their due, and a book that sets itself apart as a bloody, backstabbing, Slytherin type story blatantly ignores what it is at its core and does a cutesy romantic happily ever after complete with a Star Wars medal scene and does zero legwork to get to that point. I felt like I read the cliff notes to this book. It was that condensed and emotionless. Like, what happened? I agree with some parts of this. I will agree that the plot twist that happened in the last 80 pages was very sporadical and I was like, what the actual hell is going on? But I was here for it because I am a June and Carden stan, I love them. I love their enemy to lovers journey. I appreciated their enemies to lovers journey because it was a true enemies to lovers, So yeah, I'm a little bit sad about this review because I thought it was a great ending. I thought that it wrapped up really well for a finale of a fantasy series. So we obviously have our differences in comes to terms with how we felt about the book. I will say that. Okay. Oh gosh. Catherine says, at least it's over. Lompa says, ew. Ew. Okay, we have a party pooper here. Rihanna says, why did I read this series? WTF. Why did you read the series? If you didn't like the series, why did you read the series? That is a good question. Because I personally didn't really enjoy The Cool Prince, but I ate up The Wicked King and The Queen of Nothing. They were so good. The tension, the angst, the build up, chef's kiss, I'm sorry. Like, why do you not like this series? Do you not like enemies to lovers? Is that the reason? Like, I'm sorry. We have a badass female main character. Judy is a badass. We have an unlikable main character, Carden, who has a redemption arc. What is not to like? Okay. I 100% agree with this one. Laughable bad, and I gagged the tail touching her calf. Carden has a tail and that gives me the ick. Like, yuck. I'm not even going to deny that. It's gross. Like, why does he have to have a tail? Of all things, a tail. I agree with you, Annalie. I really agree with you. So, I'm pretty much done here. I thought that was really fun just to go through and see what people really think about some of my favorite reads. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. That's totally fair enough. So I can see why. It just makes me laugh that people go into so much detail about how much they actually hate a book. Like, if you don't like a book, don't go to the effort about writing why you don't like it. That's just my personal opinion. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you have read any of the books that I mentioned in this video, put a little comment down below and let me know if you enjoyed them as well. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye, guys.